Welcome back to the Wealthy Idiots. It's time to do our weekly reaction. Let's get to it. Hey everybody, my name's AJ. Welcome back to the Wealthy Idiot Show. I found another Dave Ramsey video that I wanted to take a look at. I've only watched a little bit of it, but it's about real estate, which is a topic I mostly disagree with him on. So let's take a look at it.
Michael is in Miami. Hey, Michael, welcome to the Ramsey Show.
Hey, Dave. Hey, guys. How we doing?
Better than I deserve, sir. What's up?
Not much. I'm 28, as you said, here from Miami, and I'm self-employed. Was managed to get myself out of $60,000 in debt, which took me about a year to do.
Good.
And, yeah, thank you, sir. And my question is, I'm currently renting now, and I've managed to save up $550,000, and I honestly don't know what the best thing to do as far as investment-wise, and I'm honestly looking into buying a house and buying it cash. And, I know you're the perfect person to talk to about it, so I wanted to, see what the best way to go about it is.
Dude, you went from 60 grand.
So I'm going to give my responses real quick just to see if Dave changes my answers here. So first off, paying off the debt crazy fast, that's incredible. Saving up that much money, that's insane. And he's only 28 years old. So great job on this guy. Michael, super great job, man. Second is he talked about, I want to do some kind of investment opportunity. And he also talked about that he currently rents in his home, or he currently rents his primary residence. So I have a little bit of a tough time with this one because I don't consider the property you live in to be an investment. I know that, you build net worth there, but you can't do anything with it. Like you could take out debt to take cash out of your home. You could, by refinancing or doing some kind of HELOC, you could sell it, but then now you're out of a home. Like it's just not, you're not producing any kind of, like you're just living there. So the only advantage really of having a paid off home is that you can now have more money free to do other stuff with. But it's not really an investment. You're not really investing it. So what I would say is if I find out like what's your goals to Michael, like what are you trying to accomplish? Because maybe you need to get into real estate investing and just continue to rent. But it depends on what his goals are. That would be my next question for him.
Grand getting out of debt to $550,000 in the bank like it was nothing. What the flip did you do?
Well, I took a lot of lumps in like 4 different businesses that I started, one of which was the reason I got into the debt, because I started with like $5,000 and the rest was credit cards. So I made some big mistakes when I was younger. And I've always been a serial entrepreneur. And, this last one I started, it's going on a year and a half now. I've done all the mistakes I've learned from.
He's a serial entrepreneur. So he has the chops for this real estate thing.
Allowed me to make it work.
Okay, so you hit a lick with your business. All right, good.
That's
and
amazing.
It was kind of after you got clear of the debt.
Yes, sir.
Wow, that's interesting.
Well, before, technically. I had to struggle to get out of the debt, and then that allowed me to be in a position to start the business and then make it work, not off of debt.
No, I'm saying the $550,000 all came after you cleared the debt.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, that's what I was trying to
That's
get my head
amazing.
around. Good for you. Well done. Proud of you, man.
Thank you.
That feels pretty studly, doesn't it?
Oh, man, it's amazing. The challenges come up, and you just got to persevere and, stay true to your gut.
Yeah.
So have you looked, Michael, at houses in your area that you want to live for that amount of money?
Oh, yeah, I can get a nice 1-1 around here in Miami. These are some of the most outrageous prices I've seen, and part of the reason why I'm still renting is the red hot market, and I know the market's kind of tapering down a little bit around, everywhere else.
Yeah.
But
Another good reason to probably go into real estate investing instead of purchasing where he's at. I do that here. I rent where we live because rents are actually way, way cheaper than mortgages here. It just doesn't balance correctly. So then I can invest in other places where it makes sense. I get cash flow, and I could use that net worth to pay for what I rent here.
it's rough out here. You know, it really is.
Yeah, a 1-and-1's about all you're gonna get in Miami proper, in Dade, for that. That because it's an expensive market. It kind of thinks it's New York. Wow,
Yeah.
I mean, pretty cool. Okay, so here's the thing. couple of observations about your situation. Number one, I'm going to send you a copy of the book Baby Steps Millionaires that shows you what millionaires have done. We studied, in the back of it is a synopsis of the study, a white paper of the study of the largest study of millionaires ever done in North America, airtight research. So these are what are known as facts, not opinions with your broke brother-in-law, okay? These are facts. Now, the biggest thing that we found was the biggest correlation that we found among the people that have a million to a $8 million, $5 million net worth, the first $1 to $5 million in net worth, comes from two things: a paid-for house and a fully funded rocking 401k Roth IRA investment retirement program.
Okay, so I don't know if you guys remember, if you watched my previous show, I asked, or previous episode, I asked how much of these millionaires are, or how many of them are counting their own home's net worth inside of that, millionaire status, because it's not something you can use. And so if you claim, like, let's say you bought a house in, Silicon Valley, where I'm at, and you bought it, in the 70s, and you paid $100,000 for it back then, and you worked and you worked and you worked, and that thing is now worth $1.5 million today, right? Or more. Could be worth more than that. Well, you're technically a millionaire. Let's say you paid it all off, you're technically a millionaire, but it's still so expensive to live here that you could be working some job where it doesn't really equate to anything. So the only way it would equate to being actually wealthy is if you were to take that net worth and move. Like, you were to go someplace where you could buy a cheaper house, and now you have some net worth you can invest, where you could produce growth. Like, you could actually use that investment on something like dividend stocks, other real estate, growth stocks, whatever, index funds. And I asked this question, like, how many of these millionaires are millionaires because of their own individual house's net worth? Because not that that's just, not that that's a bad thing, or that's not a goal. That's very admirable. But it doesn't really say anything about wealth by counting that. If you were to take the own personal house out of it, how many millionaires would get chopped off his list? And that's what I'm interested in. And so the cold hard facts, he's like, I got cold hard facts. I want to know that number. He's not going to tell us, but he did just suggest that that might be the case.
Right. So we often found a 42-year-old that wasn't making anywhere near as much as you're making, and so it took them to 42. And they had $1 million in their 401k and a paid-for $600,000 house, so their net worth was $1.6 million. We found thousands of those that we interviewed. They're all over the place. Okay, so what that tells us is, if you want to be one of those, that's your two best routes to get there: paid-for house, fully funding, loading up retirement. Okay, the danger.
No, loading up retirement is true. I don't think the house one is as true, as I just pointed out. But yeah, IRAs and 401ks are basically cheat codes for making money. Like, Roth IRAs are investments where you don't pay taxes on the money you invest into it now, and then when you withdraw it later, you don't pay taxes on it. So that's the biggest cheat code in finances, really. And 401k, if you have like employee matches, at least get your money to the employee match level. Like, at least they're doubling it for you instantly. Like, as soon as you put it in, your money doubles. There's nothing that has 100% return instantaneously on it except for 401ks. So get in on that.
Of how the wonderful experience you've had is, it's the same thing that happened to me in my 20s. I had $4 million worth of real estate by the time I was 26, starting from nothing. And I thought I could just do that all the time. And I thought that I couldn't do anything wrong. And I fell prey to, and I want to warn you against this, the idea that I could out-earn my stupidity.
No shot.
And it's because you've been making bank, and you can go, well, I can screw this up and still be okay, And
it's hard to do out here, Dave, because I live in a place where what I call the flex factor runs rampant. It's a lot of people.
You live in the ultimate flex neighborhood, yeah,
Yeah, the whole it always bothers me when he equates his version of real estate investing with all versions of real estate investing, as if it's all equal across the board. That always super annoys me. It's like, if you're starting a business and you have massive experience with this business and you run all the numbers, and so you go out and you start the business and it's successful, that's the same as somebody who has no experience whatsoever, has never been in the industry, has no idea about any of it, going out and starting the business and failing. And then that person being like, well, the successful person, he doesn't know what he's talking about, right? It doesn't work. So what he does is he did really irresponsible stuff. He ran way too fast. He did nothing conservatively. He had adjustable rate mortgages on everything. He had mortgages where the banks could call them back anytime that they felt like it. And so the second that, and he had no equity in anything because he was taking all the equity out that he had and putting it into the next property. So to say that that's the same as conservatively, buying houses and renting them out and having a significant amount of equity in them and being really, be really mindful of what it is that you're doing is not the same thing as what he's doing here. So he throws that out like, I did the thing, so you will fail too. Right? It doesn't work that way.
Flex of all kinds. Yeah, it's all flexes there. I get you. Yeah, for sure. And if you don't believe that about Miami, just go to Miami Beach. Okay. So, oh my gosh, and but so yeah, you can really fall off into that and start to believe your own handwriting. So be careful. I would continue to make money and continue to live like I'm not making any money.
Mm-hmm.
For about 2 more years, and you're going to have all the money you want for the rest of your life, probably. Are you a single guy?
Yeah, I'm with my girlfriend, and we're going on about 4 years now. So, a couple of milestones are definitely around the corner for us. Getting married and everything.
Would it be okay to go make another $500 in the next year and a half, and bank that, and then let's talk about buying? Would that be okay?
Yeah, no, absolutely. Like I told her, and her parents are in real estate in the Cutler Bay area in Miami, and I'm not in any rush. And I saw your show yesterday, and what you're saying is, you definitely if you're going to get an investment property, make sure you're getting a deal. And deals are kind of hard to come by right now.
No, there's no deals. There's no deals.
Yeah. No. Well, I was wondering if I should look elsewhere.
That's not true. There's no deals. Real estate is at like an all-time high, but rents are at an all-time high. So, he should take this money, in my opinion, and he could go get 2 properties and put enough equity into both of them that makes sense. Housing values will go up. We saw a bunch of money printed off. So at some point, like even if there's a dip in the next year or two, we're playing the 30-year game. We're not playing the 1 or 2 year game. So 30 years from now, the houses are going to be worth more. So yeah, it's a deal. There's deals. That's a crazy response.
Back.
Oh, and a story on that one. Whenever I bought my first house, I was told, like, how does it feel to buy the house at the top of the market? And people are asking me that. That house is worth double what it was when I bought it.
I don't know.
If you wanted to move inland and move northwest out of there, up Fort Lauderdale direction, you probably can. You probably can get your prices down considerable and get in a lot more reasonable thing if you want to go ahead and get in the market. That's fine.
Mm-hmm.
I just don't hear an emergency here for you to buy.
No.
I do want you to buy in the next 3 years, but I don't know if I care if you buy in the next 3 months.
Okay. Yeah. Well, I get out of this lease in February of next year.
Yeah.
So
But put your money in something. Like, come on, Dave. Tell him. Put your money in something. Don't just sit on cash. Right now, the market is dipping super hard. Now's the time to buy. Like, get into it. Like, his money might grow, without him having to do too much work to be double if he's actually actively putting it into something. Don't just sit on it.
Would you suggest probably starting to look into some other investments, maybe a mutual fund?
I didn't even have to be. It's a year. It's not even a year. Mm-hmm. It's February. You're going to pile up so much more. How much more can you have by February?
Oh, my gosh. No, put your money in something. Don't just sit on the cash. Inflation is crazy right now. Put your money in something.
To be honest, I'd say at least another $250.
Yeah. It's a different discussion, right? Yeah, a little bit of movement northwest and another $250 in February.
Changes it.
I just think that, and then just be careful to not try to out-earn your stupidity. And I think you're a sharp young dude, man. I'm proud of you. You're killing it. I love entrepreneurs.
Congrats, Michael.
Well done. Well
And
done.
if there's a ring on her finger, she may have a say on where you guys are going to live too after you get married. So
Yeah, if you buy a house
After
when you're a
that.
single guy, after you get married, you'll discover you bought the wrong house. So this is the Ramsey Show.
I agree with that. You should probably wait until he's married, because then they can probably find a better location. But no, don't sit on. They just announced that inflation is up to 8.6%. It's the highest it's been in over 40 years, and you're going to keep your money in cash. At some point, these houses are going to start, like, maybe they dip. Maybe that's when you go buy a house, but they're going to start going back up again. What happens if he grinds for the next 3 years, saves another $500,000, and he has his million and houses doubled, and he's like, well, that was ineffective. That didn't do me anything. So no. This is what I would tell him if he was to call me and say, I'd be like, what's your goal? Are you trying to build wealth over a long period of time? If the answer is yes, then go invest this money. Real estate, index funds, spread it out. Don't keep it in cash, and continue to rent, right? And just keep chugging along. At some point, you'll move to some place that's cheap enough, but you'll build such a big net worth and you'll have enough assets that you'll be able to go and purchase basically whatever you want in the next probably 10 to 15 years. And you can rent pretty much whatever you want during that time while that net worth is all building up. So no, Dave Ramsey's just so conservative to a fault. It's like, take no risks, watch your money lose value, and keep grinding. And hopefully, it'll all work out here for you. And then you'll be worth like $1 million, and $1 million of that will be your house. And you can't use that for actual anything. So for retirement. So, hopefully Social Security comes rolling in at some point. No, none of that works. No, like, invest your money, grow it, have it work for you so you're not working to get it. And then by the time you hit retirement, you're going to have not just enough cash to do whatever you want, but you're going to have a constant inflow of cash that you could live off of. You could do whatever you want, which is so much better than just having cash. So that's my strong disagreement on another episode. I only watched like the first minute of that, and then I had to review it. So I'm glad that you stuck with us. Thanks for coming by. Check out wealthyidiots.com. And please like and subscribe. Please. Super helps us out. Doesn't cost you anything. But thanks again. I'll see you guys next time.